Hey there, Dr. Mel here, and welcome back to our 12 Stages of Healing series, our Somato Respiratory Integration exercises. And if you haven't already, as I've asked you in every video before this, please subscribe. That way you can get the latest updates on these videos that I'm posting to help you connect with your body, mind, and thrive. So we're still in the season of Awaken, which is all about our sense of gratitude, having a deeper sense of self and the self beyond just our physical body, connecting with the people and the environment and our experiences around us. In this stage, in stage 10, this is the stage of Ascent, where in stage 9, we really started to connect with the light and the love. Now in stage 10, we realize that we are the light, we are the love, and we are being the light and the love that is required upon us within the world. Now this is the stage that many gurus, mystics, rabbis, priests, people of more the spiritual leadership positions, this is the stage that people seek and is highly sought after. Some of us and some of the leaders in our culture or other cultures around the world may call this Christ consciousness. In psychology, they call it transpersonal integration, and in simple terms, enlightenment. Now, in this stage, it's really important to remember that although it's very sought after, it's really important to have a stronger sense of self. Here, we're connecting with that sense of light and love, and it's as though we're holding this candle, and all of a sudden we step out into the world, and there's this big beam of sunshine, and we no longer need that candle because we realize that we are the candle and we are the light. Now, there's a couple nuances that are really important, as I've read out of this book before in other videos, that I want you to get. It's really important, again, that we've practiced these stages, because oftentimes those of us who are seeking this awakened enlightenment, sometimes it can be an escape from really connecting with the suffering that exists within ourselves. So I'm going to read this. And again, a lot of people would also term this universal consciousness, or we're connecting to that unbound energy. So it can feel sometimes a little chaotic, but know that in stage 10, there's a consciousness that you're supported by the divine or the universal intelligence that really runs the show on this planet and in the solar system. So Donnie also mentions too with stage 10 that many who seek enlightenment often take longer to attain and integrate the Ascent stage of healing, stage 10, into their life than people who have no expectations of eventual enlightenment. So people are just going about their day being a good human. Sometimes, poof, we can pop into that stage of enlightenment. And it looks different for everyone. He continues to say that for some reason, those who are consciously seeking a transformational spiritual experience often have much work to do in earlier stages of healing before this is possible. Now, some of us maybe have experienced this where we see these, leaders, whether it's yogis or religious teachers, and they're constantly on this quest for spiritual enlightenment, or people around us. And yet there seems to be this inability to connect with them because they're so attached to this enlightenment experience that they're not grounded. So that's what he's mentioning here. As a result, these people often return again and again to earlier stages after having a brief glimpse of stage 10 reality. In some cases, the conscious desire to surrender to one's sense of self and obtain peak religious experiences may actually be a distraction from the healing process. So if we're constantly looking for this experience that we're not having, that can be a distraction from actually truly healing. And oftentimes, the enlightenment experience comes from the darkness. We've heard that the light penetrates the wound. The light enters the wound. By contrast, those who fully experience their sense of self in earlier stages of healing without considering the idea of peak or mystical experiences often find it very easy to achieve that experience. It almost always comes as a surprise. At the same time, the integration that occurred during earlier stages provided the body-mind with the capacity to experience this more deeply. Again, saying again and again to you all who are viewing this, practice the earlier stages. It helps you have a grounded sense of your body-mind so that when you're having more of a spiritual or enlightened experience, you can actually integrate it into your system. With each stage of healing, we gain access to a larger keyhole through which we broaden our perspective of the world. In stage 10, we experience a quantum leap in expanding the view of reality of both the universe and ourselves. Yet we often express it to others through individual keyholes of earlier stages. In this stage, you guys, there really is no words. It's hard to explain when you're truly in this stage, so that's what he's saying here. The challenge is to take the stage 10 perspective and view it through an even larger keyhole, providing a greater vision. And this is what happens when we move into stage 11, which will be our next video. So again, here we're merging with that wholeness. Different from stage 5, in which we are merging with the alienated aspects of ourselves, now we're merging with the wholeness of ourselves and the unbound energy that exists around us that's been there all the time supporting us. So in this stage, you're going to be on your back. It's going to be a little bit more whole body movements, and you're going to be breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. From a perspective, your perspective, it looks a little aggressive, but what you're going to be doing is taking your hands in the prayer position or meditation position, coming up above your head. Inhale. And on the exhale, you're actually going to almost karate chop your pelvic area, your pelvic floor, your perineum. You don't want to be aggressive with it, but you want to touch that part of your being, because as we ascend, we connect to that universal consciousness. We also want to bring it back into the grounding part of our body, mind, to keep us grounded in the experience. So here we go. Again, you're going to start on your back. The whole time, you're going to keep your head on the floor, and you're going to start with just some breaths to connect to your mouth, to your third eye, and the energy above. So that's what you'll see me doing beforehand. Now, as you move into this and you continue the rhythm, you may chant, you may say, I am one, or if there's some sort of like religious or spiritual or enlightenment context that you use when you are connecting to that energy around you, this would be a time to utilize it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with my fingers over my mouth. And again, I'm just connecting to that gratitude, light and love, up to third eye. As I inhale, on the exhale, I'm going to sync up my breath and the movement, just like any other stage we've done. So here's what it looks like. Inhale. You can speed it up or slow it down. Really connect with that part of your perineum and your pelvic floor. Being that light, I am one. And let your arms move, let your body move, however feels good. Now, for the purposes of this video, I cut that short, but ideally you want to move into that rhythm for about, a minute to 3 minutes and let the rhythm take over. You might kind of have more that transcendental or enlightenment experience, or if you're having that experience, stage 10 is a really great way to really receive that energy, connecting with, the unbound energy, the divine, universal consciousness, whatever you want to call it, and bringing it into your system to really fully integrate. And it can feel chaotic, as you see in my body. It's more of a chaotic experience, but making sure that you've practiced the earlier stages so your system is flexible, adaptable, and you can receive all the gifts. The questions we ask ourselves in this stage are, how can I fully receive my gifts? How can I fully receive the love and the light that I am? How can we receive that? It's a very powerful stage. Again, we're in the season of awaken. And if you have any questions or you're digging this, make sure you comment below so I know how I can support you. But again, allowing the rhythm to take over, inhale, exhale, mouth breathing. This is prepping us for stage 11, which is our descent, where we discover our gifts and we share it with the world. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.